Hello everyone, I'm MegaGWolf and you're watching The G-View. Hello and welcome to the Hammerwatch Beta. Hammerwatch is something I've been keeping my eye on, so you could say I've been watching it. With a hammer? I don't know where I was going with that. This game is a hack and slash action adventure. Reminds me a lot of the Gauntlet games. Though you can get the full write-up of what they say about the game on their website, hammerwatch.com, where you can download this beta version for absolutely free. So I'm just going to be starting as one of the 3 available classes, the Paladin. Seems I have the 4th class planned for the future. The other 2 available classes to pick, as you saw, were Wizard and Archer, with Warlock grayed out, so we can't play as him just yet. So as we start off, we can definitely see, or at least I can definitely see, the Gauntlet influence, except the layout being a lot more complex. One thing I find a little bit weird about the keyboard controls so far is that you use WASD to move your character around, but you have to tap on the up arrow if you want to do your basic attack, and then use the left arrow if you want to use the special ability that is linked to your class. I'm used to playing Binding of Isaac, so this isn't that awkward, but it took a little while to get used to. Although, keep in mind, you can use a controller. I just don't know the buttons for a controller layout. So let's talk a little bit about the class. So we're playing the Paladin. Seems to be the tanky type, as he has the most health out of the 3 classes so far, with 75. The Archer gets 50 health, and the Mage only gets 25. Believe me, you're gonna get reminded you only have 25 health as a mage quite a bit, as, well, this game can kill you. I assume the Paladin's role is to get right up in the face of the enemies as the Archer and Mage attack from afar. And obviously to help him do that, his ability is a charge forward. It does do damage to enemies, and if it kills the enemy, you just dash right through them. If not, the enemy will stop you in your tracks. Also, the way the Paladin's auto attack works is basically he swings as fast as you can tap the button, so he's pretty good at dealing in-your-face rapid damage. As you can see here, the Wizard is definitely not one of the ones you want in the front lines, so if you're playing solo, good luck if you choose the Wizard. But thankfully you don't have to get in the face of your enemies. Your attack is ranged and does have an AoE effect. So grouping up those annoying melee enemies, definitely the way to go if you play a mage. Your ability is a flamethrower. It deals quick damage in a cone in front of you. As you're using it, you actually stand still, so you can spin in place like a flame wheel. Again, pretty useful for high damage, but on your own it's a pretty difficult class to play. But it is one of my personal favourites. I always seem to pick the mage in these kind of things. The nice thing about this character is he has a big mana pool, and his regen is pretty good, so he gets to spam his flamethrower quite a lot. Can't say that about the others, unfortunately. The Paladin runs out of mana pretty quick, and the Archer, well, with the Archer's ability being so useful, it's kind of a shame you don't get more mana with that guy, but I understand why you don't. The Archer seems to be a good mix of defense and attack, with his auto attacks being ranged and able to penetrate enemies, to a certain degree anyway. He is again another one that you want to try and keep back, but do keep in mind that the closer you are to the enemy you're attacking with your bow, the more damage you do. The Archer is a really good person to play if you want a bit of variety in the way you do your attacks, and is easily one of the best classes to use in single player. His ability is the bomb. You lay a bomb on the ground and after a short duration it explodes, dealing really good AoE damage. But it does cost 20 mana each time, and this guy's mana regen isn't the best, so useful yes, not spammable, which is good in a way. I pretty much think the Archer's overpowered anyway. I think that maybe the fact that it has penetration to begin with kind of makes it a bit too much. Perhaps if that was an unlock you could get separately later. As you progress through the dungeon, you collect coins, and those coins can be used with the traders you can find around the dungeon. And what these offer are things like maximum health and mana increases, as well as movement speed buffs. All for a nice amount of gold though, so spend your money wisely. You can also later find a person who upgrades your attack damage and various attributes to your auto attacks. For example, giving the Archer even more penetration, cause he needs that. This beta offers you a few options to play around with. Actually, quite a few when it comes to the graphical settings. Things like turning off the glow effects, or making it so the shadows look sharp rather than smoothed out. Little cosmetic changes which are a nice touch. When it comes to playing the game single player, you can only start the campaign. I'm not actually 100% sure how far you can get within it, but I've been able to play for quite a hefty amount of time, so who knows, you might even be able to fight a boss. I do know they have a little bit more information on their Steam Greenlight page, which you should also check out. There will hopefully be a link in the description. So far, this is just a campaign mode, so unfortunately, it's set in stone the way the dungeon is set up. What I'm really hoping for is some kind of random generation option. I don't really know how easy it's going to be to do, especially with the way the game is set up, but it would be really cool to see that in future. But if that's not possible, what they're also saying is that you can also have editing support, making your own levels and changing things to your liking. It'd be really cool to see some community-based maps. But single player is not the only thing you can do with this beta, you can actually take it online. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of me doing that, but I tried it out last night and it works a dream. We were actually able to use the program Evolve, so I imagine other programs such as Hamachi would be able to work as well. But if that's not an option for you, you can port forward and host it yourself. It also has local play. One person could be using the keyboard, the other could be using the controller. And one of the more fun things to do in a multiplayer game is you can set up challenges for yourself. Things like a shared health pool or just 1 HP each. No extra lives, you can make all these insane challenge modes. All of these features seem really cool and I cannot wait to see what else is going to be added later. Obviously, graphically, the game is going for the quite popular retro style, with flares of glowy effects to make it look quite fancy. Obviously won't be winning any awards for best graphics of the year, but still, the sprite work is extremely detailed, especially for the resolution. But one of the most awesome things I think for this game so far is definitely the music. Although technically I've only heard 2 tracks, the title theme music and the level music, those 2 are really good, to the point where I'd actually inquire about an OST in the future, some kind of special edition download perhaps. So with that, let's have a look at the list of features the creators have offered us. 12 levels divided between 4 acts, 4 different classes with unique features and skills, character development through unlocks and upgrades, several different monsters with all different skills and abilities, 4 large monsters which require more strategy than just hacking, survival mode on small arena levels with waves of enemies just charging at you, hardcore mode, also hard, medium and easy of course, controller support, which I mentioned, multiplayer co-op with up to 4 players, local, LAN and online, which again I mentioned, PC, Mac and Linux support, as well as mod and editing support. Quite a lot to offer, and I'm definitely looking forward to this. So check out the Hammerwatch beta, as well as, if you enjoyed the beta, voting for them on Steam Greenlight. I'm MegaGWolf, thank you for watching and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Okay, thanks, bye.